Ninja! 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 Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words from some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, and as we get closer to victory, and for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song. Buy things at here websites.com. Buy things at here websites.com.
All right, well, so we are now starting the thing. I'm going to turn this off over there. And let's go ahead and click play over here. So we got some royalty-free, non-attribution required music going on in the background on the other computer over there. And got the dog licking her foot, so that's some subtle way of her telling me she wants some food. Let's go. No, is it? She just eats some fish. I'm going to give her some food. All right, now we're back. So we just gave the dog some fish here, and she was licking her. So I'm waiting for the mail to go by, and I'm about to start working on some sites. And I had talked about doing this last week, but I didn't get much feedback. So we're going to go live and see what kind of feedback we get today. And first off, if you would give me some feedback, I see some different people out there today. Give me some feedback if the mic is working all right. But I've got some maintenance work to do on websites and stuff, so I figured I'd go live again, and if anybody's out there wants to chat about building sites or working on internet stuff, we can chat about that. But it looks like Mystic was the first one showing up. And Nicholas and DM, welcome everybody. It says there's 9 people out there. 8 over here, 9 over here. See that? Discrepancy. Anyway, so I've been working on some videos, and it looks like I closed all the software, which is probably a good idea. And the site I was working on has been some gun shop stuff. So I've been working on gun shop guide, and I don't like the way it's laid out. So we've got gun shops, shooting ranges, and firearms museums. I added the rental ranges here. Now I got a couple of ranges showing up. So now I need to basically go to shooting ranges. I guess it's about the same. Just have a picture up here and some individual pages here. Let me get rid of that gallery though. Let's see, I'll probably, let me work over here, and then that way I can see if people are. Thanks for that. I didn't know how to shuffle things around today. Let me empty this recycle bin. I'm waiting for the mail lady because a couple of people bought stuff today at the Gear website store, so thank you very much. I don't know if those people are listening or not, but I don't know if I saw that Chris posted something on Instagram about the Gear website store. I don't know, maybe somebody else mentioned it somewhere, but 2 different orders. That's usually get like an order a week. So if that. So, well, we usually get an order a week, but usually an order per week. So getting 2 in one day is pretty awesome. and one of them was for 2 decks of cards, so it was pretty cool. So anyway, I've got those out, waiting for the mail to get picked up. I think they're still mailed today, right? So I didn't send any links out. I guess I could post a link over on Patreon. So what I do there is I pop the tab and then open it up in a new window over here so that nobody has to see anybody's Patreon info. I guess I could have done this ahead of time. Boy, this is taking a long time. Patreon is slow. Listen to that. I guess it's business as usual for the Air Force if they're flying around like that. This is saying they got mail today. Right on. So now I've got a link out there. It's going to Patreons only, so now the Patreons can jump in if they want. Otherwise, we'll just go live. I don't think I'll be going live for too long because of a couple of things, but I figured I was going to spend some time here. I tried attempting this the other day and it got sidetracked with us chatting, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to go live anyway, in case the conversation starts up. So I can't guarantee anything entertaining, but I can guarantee we'll be live for a little while. So let's see. We started at 2 p.m. Arizona time. Let's just say we started at 2 p.m. Arizona time. That's 2 p.m. for 2A. And we'll maybe go live for 2 hours. We'll see how it goes. And since we got a link out there to Patreon, we don't know who will jump in. And if we see anybody else that jumps or comes along, then we may send out some other links. People have the ability to jump in. Otherwise, I'll try not to be too distracted by emails and stuff coming in. How is the people? We got 6 people watching right now, so one of them is me. So that's 5 people. What kind of what's the word? Like not stress so much, but what kind of pace is everything at? I know a lot of people are working from home. Is it fast paced? Is it difficult? Is it like you have to really spend a lot of time keeping up, or is it I suspect everything's just sort of at a snail pace. But on the other hand, there's probably some places that are just cooking right now, right? So some of the stuff that's bothering me is like this thing here. What's going on with this? Why is this one like this and this one is like this? And you can see why, because this one's a heading and this one is a paragraph. So I guess the easiest thing to do is make it a heading. Paragraph heading. Yeah. Okay. I gotta go see if that's the mail lady. All right, that was not the mail lady. Yeah, I'm wondering if what kind of pace business is at out there, if things are going hectic for you, or if things are on the slow pace for you. So, I'll make this a lot smaller just doesn't need to be big. And if I move it up with the way these things are, well, I guess I'd have to move it to right justify and then move it up and it'll do that. I just don't like the way it does it. This isn't really using CSS, I don't think. I don't know how it's doing this. You need to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing with web stuff now. Because back in the day, to make that happen, I would need to do it in a whole different way than it just happens now. So anyway, that's what it would look like. Is this a page? Yeah. Why is this page not got my sidebar on it? There we go. So what I was upset about, or what I was concerned about, is this thing is taking off the whole one column, right? I want a 2-column layout though. So I just went in there and turned the column on. So now I'll refresh. And there's that second column I'm talking about. Otherwise, it's difficult to navigate a site where there's no consistent column over here. You can sometimes do it with just the top bar. That's maybe a way it works with phones or something. I don't really pay attention to how people drive navigation out there, but I don't like it. I like looking at stuff on a computer, and having a menu over here is, the way my eyes work. In our little town, there isn't too much different. People still out and about, people stocking up on groceries. Yeah, I don't know about I haven't been to a store in a while because I don't want to spread the sickness or get the sickness. I'm afraid of the sickness now. But I just haven't been to a store in a while. I got all my stuff and I figured, what do I need to be at a store for? I'm just wasting people's time. I guess I did go to the store the other day, now that I said that. But I only went in there and bought some milk, almond milk, some other things. Like I said, I bought some oranges. I bought $30 worth of shit. So I guess I did go to the store. But it was real normal. Like, it couldn't have been more normal for a Sunday. It was there yesterday. Dang. Seemed like so far ago. But yeah, people still about, and I wouldn't say people were stocking up though. In fact, we were talking about that. Helping some people that are helping kittens right now, and they're buying for a bunch of people. So I was helping them, and they were buying for a bunch of people, but they didn't see a bunch of other people really stocking up more than like 2 of a thing. What are we talking about here? Can't get a haircut. The barbershop is closed. Oh, I hear it. Be a lot of hippies out there. You stand next to a fan. That's probably a thing you could do. When you got like a vehicle with its fan going up front to cool the radiator, stand right in front of that. Just, don't lean back. Real careful when you do it that way. You don't want to cut it too short that way because that's dangerous, but you can keep it long hair trim that way. Weed eater, that might work. Like, lean over and then use a weed eater. What is Ron? Am I missing stuff? Oh, I get you. This is this whole name over here. I thought you were saying at Ron. You were telling him too many matters. All right, so let's see. So now I got rental ranges so that it looks like that. I don't know. I was playing with shooting ranges still. So shooting ranges looks like that. And still don't like this thing there. That's what I think I went to go mess with. Is this whatever this is, gallery. So I'm just killing it. No, it doesn't even exist. And this is in a portion called classic, I guess, which is always shitty. So we're just going to take this chunk and cut it out. Add a new little section here somewhere. Put it there. And move that up in front of the other one. Or up in front of the other one. And then we gotta get this thing off here. Oh, and the other thing is I got all screwed around trying to, it's difficult trying to do tutorials when you have no idea the level of what people are watching, and it just gets crazy, right? So if this was some sort of a progressive tutorial, I wouldn't get into plugins. But since there's people all over, I don't even know if people are paying attention to really what I'm doing here. But if this was a tutorial, then I would have worked my way up to these plugins the other day, and I figured out the plugin. It's actually kind of a weird plugin. You have to put the plugin in to create the category host widget, which lets you put like a little, basically a thingy on your page. So when we go to a page like shooting ranges, this was a piece of code, this was a piece of code, this was a piece of code, and then this piece of code turns into this whole big list of stuff. So that little piece of code is basically going out there and saying, go do whatever this thing is telling you to do down here. And is this one actually? Is this one? It tells you what this little thing is doing. So you'd go in here, you'd set up one called rental, and you'd get this little widget. That's what you'd put on the page. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how I tell this thing to filter what I wanted it to filter and do what I want, what it's supposed to do. Then I figured out you have to go to widgets. And it's this mess. Holy moly. Look at this mess over here. This is many, many more things than you'd ever need before normally. But what it lets you do is create these widgets, and then that little snippet of code lets you put the widget on the page. That's why they call it widget in a page. So anyway, I figured that out. Refigured it out, because obviously I figured it out whenever I set it all up the first time. And that's interesting. I mean, it lets you go to, again, this page, let's say, and it's this portion of it where you get the title, you get the thumbnail, you get a little description, and then you get a continue. And then it repeats with the next entry, the next post, title, thumbnail, description, etc. And then next. And when there's not a thumbnail, it just doesn't post a thumbnail. But whenever there is a thumbnail, it posts a thumbnail. So that's kind of neat. But I think where I'm using a different, well, I think I've already showed you in different chats that I use other ones that don't format the same way, but they're way less complicated. Let's see. Society lock the front door to the pharmacy, drive-through only, by like dictate or by decision. And is that decision because of like there's nobody showing up anyway? Like you don't have the employees or something like that? Or if you want, so figure, especially in a situation like this now, I'm willing to be a distraction, but if there's nobody going live and people are curious just to chat, we can always be a roundtable, a community bulletin board. So I had talked about doing a chat to just talk about how to build sites and work on sites, and I'll do that any day of the week. But if people want to chat about something else, we chat about that too. I think we should probably have a chat at some point, maybe later on this week, about stuff that, like, oops, I should have prepped. Oops, I should have prepped that again. Hopefully having the drive-through open will be enough to carry you through. I used to do the bald thing. Not bald necessarily, but shaved really, I guess a high and tight, that kind of thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, right on. It's not like people aren't accustomed to drive-through pharmacies by now. I would think for something like that, or let me assume that something like that, if somebody needed, like, it's more than just prescriptions, right? So if they pulled up and said, hey, can you grab me a, whatever, cough syrup and a thing of Band-Aids, you go grab it, or is it just prescriptions that they called in? I've never been to the drive-through. I don't think I've ever been I've been a pharmacist before. I definitely stood next to people who have been pharmacists. So this is the show right here, which is pretty much that show. And then this is my subscriptions. Oh, I had my subscriptions open to see if anybody was live. Is there anybody live? My thing isn't working. See, it shows me that Nut is live, and that was it. But yesterday, it wasn't showing me anybody was live. So Nut's live, and he's got 6 people. We got 9 people, so we're winning, beating him by 3 people. It's like a 30% win ratio. But sometimes if you click on this, then you actually dig down into, you'll see somebody. The blue dots, I think, means they made a video since the last time you looked. Those out over-the-counter supplies mean like Band-Aids and gauze and that kind of thing. Like you'll run out into the rest of the store, or is it like just the stuff that you guys have in that little fort that you have in the back of the stores all the time? You always get screwed at the drive-thru. I've heard of that too. Never let an Uber drive you take you through the drive-thru, because then you're getting screwed by the drive-thru and you're getting charged by the Uber driver to go through there, and they charge double for going through a drive-thru because of the way they pull their scams. Matt just went, that son of a bitch. He couldn't stand the fact that I'm live. He couldn't stand that I had 9 people over here, and he needed that. He needed to get that kind of attention. Son of a bitch. What the hell weird shit is he watching? This is what he does. This is what he panders to the boobs and the young kids, showing them the beer. The boobs. I guess he's talking about some kind of strippers. He's probably hating on it because he hates stuff. He's probably hating on it. Strippers let's see. Any other items needed? Mostly over-the-counter pain, fever, meds, just to name a few. Right on. Yeah, well, thanks for going in. Got a couple of people who replied back to the Tuesday show. So tomorrow night I'm going to do a show, and Thursday night I'm going to do a show. And I've invited a bunch of people in to chat about dealing with stress and panic, dealing with stress, and then how to potentially make, do the best maneuver for a win in for 2A. Does that make sense? So I got a couple of positive responses. And I'm distracted because I'm looking at my phone now, and that made me open up a thing that had an alert on it, which was Instagram. So then this is what I was looking for, my email. I did it on my phone, that way I don't have to worry about it accidentally showing up on the screen, showing everybody's emails. I got one that's like a maybe. And what, I gotta look at another email? Stupid. For some reason, it's stacked like 6 responses in one and then 2 others. Oh, sorry about that. So we got Enrique, Infernus, and then Mike Sedini. That is, what the hell is this? We got Riding Shotgun with Charlie tomorrow. And then I don't know who 2 of these people are because they replied with their real names. I don't know their real names. But, and then 2 other people. So got a pretty good thing. I'm gonna have to do it in GunTube even, not even on the stupid duck. So so there you go. Oh, I'm calling this El Gato now, right? No wait, El Pato. So, are you talking to me? I don't know if you're talking about the websites. Good. Websites where it's all about. So what was I doing over here? I had been screwing with this and I think I need to just refresh this. Because you see, I had already changed quite a few things. So I'm going to close that and leave it sit with this new version. Go ahead and update it again. So now I've made it a little smaller, mainly so that when I open it, it goes right to this thing, which is what's going to be consistent. So that's shooting ranges and then rental ranges. And I guess next, just double check to see what gun shops looks like. Gun shops is tough because there's just too many of them, so I'm not going to bother. The focus of that will be the states. Surplus stores. So I could redo surplus stores. So yeah, I got to do something with surplus stores eventually. But I think next I'm going to go work on. So that's been the views, right? The public side where people can see part of it, and it's not miserable. It ain't perfect, but it ain't miserable. You also have to learn when to detach yourself from perfection. There's no way to attain perfection. You'll spend your whole life trying to make the outside look right. And the first time you change something on the inside, it'll ruin what you did on the outside. So that's a balance you're going to have to deal with any project, I suppose. So I'm done on the outside. We're going to go inside. And WordPress is a bunch of posts made up of pages. So there's a bunch of posts that sometimes have media in them, but it's mostly posts. Well, it is posts with media in them sometimes, but it's posts, and you arrange those posts with pages. Otherwise, it would just be a big list, right? If it was just posts, it would just be a big list. So instead, you put pages in there to give it some organization. There's comments, which I never use. There's appearance, which is making it blue or red or yellow or square or round. You got plugins, which makes things happen, make it look cool or whatever. And then users I never use, although, well, that's something else. We only got 8 people watching, but the 8 people that are probably watching this are probably, I don't know, I'm not sure. 8 people watch a lot of stuff, but who's interested in being part of the new version of Every Second Matters? Started taking what was the best parts of gun channels and cramming them into the best parts of Every Second Matters, making them one of them toothpaste things where you get stripes, except all the stripes of goodness from all the other platforms, and creating a community, a smaller community of fewer people that are active and amplify the work of everybody else that's out there. Who would be interested in putting actual work into that? And then I guess we need people to make that happen. Would have been cool to have that like a month ago. Let's see. The chats on stress management is a great idea. Everyone else seems just on their close talk. Something happened to your autocomplete there. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to discard the doom and gloom. I mean, and we'll have, like I say, at least once this week, we'll have like a rational, real talk about prepping, However, I think I'm going to do that with Patreons only or something. I don't think that kind of stuff needs to go out to the world. But yeah, should be some. We'll have something to have something about chatting about real life stuff. But I just don't see that. I just don't see the inevitable that some people see. SS Pawn, welcome. Well, it's not so much keeping it alive. Every Second Matters was born in chat rooms, in literally where you guys are all. You're watching my screen right now. Here's where Every Second Matters is born, right over here. Like a bunch of people were watching chats, and in the chats, like right now, I guess the Hangouts is where it technically was born, instead of a stupid old Addo over here. But we were in there bullshitting about how everybody's gonna just forget about this because it was the end of 2013. We had just witnessed the power of grassroots, and we all really thought 2A media, like the new media, everybody thought the new media was the shit. Like we thought we were awesome. We thought we were going to change the world. So everybody was like, "Oh, that's everybody's going to forget about that." So it started in the chats. Maybe I don't remember now, 15. So it's never been a campaign or a campaign of ambition. It's never been a campaign of lofty goals. Its goal was to just exist. So I haven't definitely made it exist every month. Sometimes some months I'm out there doing it, and other months I let it go intentionally to see if anybody's going to pick it up. And other months I don't. I'm surprised by how many people pick it up and run with it. And other months nobody picks it up and it just sits there. So some months I totally forget about it myself. I got my life living. It's been 7 years. I'm not going to say I've been around for every one of them either, but it's everybody's to live or die, or to keep going, or to end. But it was something like 2015 where it had been like that for 2 years already. Maybe it was 16. Not really. At some point though, Sean from Florida Carey started blabbing about how it could be a community, blah, blah, blah. So, again, I was still new, gullible. So I took the same technology we made gun channels out of, and I don't even want to think about where I took $2,500 from to put that together, and then built this thing as an opportunity to use a gun channels like structure or infrastructure to allow all the nonprofit organizations, the gun owners' rights groups, to get together and interface in one place so that we wouldn't have to interfere with whatever they're doing. Some of them use newsletters, some of them use old ass rusty forums, some of them probably bang rocks together and listen to that somehow, and still are able to do whatever they do. And instead of having to change any of those procedures, we figured having an Every Second Matters. That's just somebody. Having an Every Second Matters platform, would give them a chance to, I don't want to say collaborate, but at least accumulate their feeds all in one spot. And that was dreaming, wishful thinking, probably delusional. I'll admit when something's delusional, but still, I figured it might be worth a try. You can't assume no one's going to do nothing unless you create a platform and have it exist for a few years and invite people in constantly, and then no one uses it. Then you can say that no one will do it. But you can't just assume no one's going to do it until you're giving them the option to not do it, right? Give them a choice. So that's where Every Second Matters has been. And then maybe last year sometime I had to turn it off because it was just being abused. It was taking much more effort than it was worth. It would take hours of effort to clean up Every Second Matters each month. And no one was actually, I shouldn't say no one, very few people, Gizzard, Gary, a couple other people were actually posting stuff over there, attempting to use it for what it was all about. But opening it to the public would just allow it to be abused. So, and that's just by used car places or somebody selling moving storage, just garbage, spam. So what I'm talking about with Every Second Matters, and this is why I'm ranting about this one right now, is getting some of the key stuff, the stuff that worked with gun channels, and then gunchannels.com, I mean, the community, the software, the program, well, not software, but the stuff that the software did, attained the community, the people, but get some of the key players and then turn Every Second Matters into a project that is a system. I'd rather make it a system than a application or a what do they call them now? I guess an app. I don't want it to be a mechanic or a mechanism that is some kind of, I don't know, accomplishes something, because whatever it is you make today won't be useful 2 days or 3 weeks from now or 3 years from now or 3 decades from now. But if you create a system of how people can work together, organizations of people can stand, through Facebook and then Twitter and MySpace and AOL and newsletters and fax machines, right? So organizations of people last through technology, but little whiz bangs and gizmos die when the platform that they exist on dies. So instead of depending on that, I'd rather put effort into gathering a group of people together that can do the jobs of it. I'll see if anybody's interested. I didn't explain it very well, but that's the first time I'm really thinking about putting it together, because again, we got something weird happening in the world and a lot of people have time. So I can assume people have time, but I don't know what they're going to do with their time. So if I can put that out there though, and I'll probably put it together in a specific video so that people can respond to that and not have to listen to the middle of this, however long this chat's going to be. So I see Kingpin out there. If he wants a link, he's welcome. He is not, I don't know if he's on Patreon or not, but there is links out there over on the Patreon. Otherwise, I don't know how long I need to go. If Matt's live, I don't know. We got 11 people over here, so speak up. I am going to go back to working on this. I don't think I need that open. Mainly I was over here setting up some gun shops. Oh, that's what it was. I was going to get in here and I was explaining stuff about gun shop guide, and I was going to go inside. And so it's all these posts made up or organized by pages, but it's all about these posts. So first I got to go in here and basically think with these posts. So since there's, how many of them are there? There's 155 of them. That's too many. There's that mail. You can go back over there. Shoot it the other way. I'm guessing it's the regular mail lady. Oh, snap. I totally forgot about the almanac. Yeah, thanks for that, Tony. I paying attention. I guess it's the chaos and the stress. I forgot about my own freaking almanac over here. So let me go look at the almanac auction on eBay off screen, so that I was just looking at eBay too, because I had some stuff sell at the store, and I was like, what the hell? How come stuff is selling at the store? That doesn't happen ever. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it just never happens. So anyway, I was looking at eBay to see if something happened over there. I started a bunch of auctions today, but I totally forgot about the other one. Oh, there's one bid on it. Oh well. Oh well. At least they'll pay for the printer. I was kind of hoping to get at least more than one bid on it. But I did put a bunch of magazines up there. There's 50, I think everybody gets it. I don't think I'm special on eBay. I'm not really big on eBay. I mean, I'm not a large entity on eBay. I have like 300. So I'm not like brand new. And I've been on eBay since the 90s, I think. But I'm not a big eBayer. I don't use enough. I don't pay them enough. Like I'm not a big account with them. So I don't think I'm getting anything special. And I get 50 auctions this month, or yeah, till the end of March, till April 1st. So I'll be using those. And that's one of the things that I've been debating whether or not I should bother going live to talk about website stuff because I got those free auctions. So that's like 35 cents every time I'll put something up there. And if you're selling, like right now, I got a bunch of the magazines that my friend gave me. So I'm putting those up for $9 and the shipping is $7.75 or something, $7.89. Actually, shipping all went up a buck. It looks like I just sent stuff out today and shipping might have all gone up a buck. But anyway, when something sells for when something sells for $9.99 and it costs seven something to ship, what do you make? $2? So you don't really make money. Is that her balcony? Nope, that wasn't her. Anyway, when you're only making $2, having a 35-cent eBay auction fee bites. So getting those auction fees for free is worth it. So I don't know what to put up there. Maybe a bunch of knives or something. I'm trying to figure out what people would want to buy right now. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for the heads up on that. I will throw the link over here in case anybody wants to buy. It's just the first edition of the Shooter's Almanac. Had a couple of people in whoever's chat I was in. What was that? It's weird. You can hear a lot more stuff because I'm not hearing the normal day-to-day noise. I had some people in the other chat. What chat was I in? No, I wasn't even in a chat. I was watching some chat yesterday, and somebody had said that they work at a publisher or something. So maybe I can get some kind of deal on getting limited number of these things printed or something in real, get them printed with a real cover and everything. All right, so what I'm looking at is 155 items over here. Those are 155 posts, in this case, gun shops, gun museums, that kind of thing, at least on this website. So I don't want to look at everything. I just want to look at ranges, actually. So I'm going to go down here and go to shooting ranges and filter it. And that brought it down to 39, so that's a lot more manageable. And then I think what I can do, I can't actually, I can go through and do this. So I know that the gun store is a range, but it already says range, but it doesn't matter. Cody Firearms Experience, I know that's a range. Fox Valley is a range. Centennial Gun Club is a range. Original Bob's shooting range. Well, that one isn't for me, but for somebody else. Oh, these already all say shooting range. So let me uncheck them. So the easiest way to uncheck a bunch of things is to check everything and then uncheck everything. I'm going to be rude here in a second because I'm waiting for that mail lady to come by. I like to monitor and see that she understands how I like my mail to be received. So I observe how she receives my mail. But yeah, out of nowhere, I got an order today. And then I was like, holy crap, because I don't get orders very often. And then another order came in. So I don't know if Yankee or somebody said to go buy stuff off of me. Somebody said something. So that's amazing. Like, that's a whole bill right there. It's like $60 in shipping. Let's see. So what I wanted to do is get it to shooting ranges, and now I'm going to figure out which ones of these have rentals. That's what I'm actually doing. So Gun Store definitely has rental. Cody Firearms has rentals. Yeah, they had rentals. They have rentals. I don't remember this one. I've never been to that one. The range at Austin certainly does. U.S. Shooting Academy. Having to remember that one. Do not remember it, but I do remember Tulsa Sheriff's Office. So the Sheriff's Training Center in Tulsa does not have any guns to rent. I would not recommend hanging out there. LAX shooting range, I think they do. I think they have rentals. I'm just going to assume they do. 2A Outfitters. I think they do. NRA Whittingham Center. I don't think they do. Dragon Man's does. H&H definitely does. That's a cool shop. I should probably go live separate just to watch the eBay auction thing end. I probably will do that now that I'm thinking about it. Shoot Smart definitely has them. Vance Outdoors. Ohio. Oh, I remember that one now. They definitely do. Roll Call. That's the name of a gun shop and a shooting range. Top Gun. Yeah, they did. In fact, Top Gun was a cool one. They had them where they had a whole bunch of guns with different price tags that if the price tag was a certain color, I think that meant you could go take it and shoot it. I don't know why they picked certain guns that you could take and shoot. Like, no problems. Like, I guess it was like a free rental basically, because you could, if you were planning on purchasing this gun and it had the right price tag, you could take it over to the range and just shoot it. The site. No. Mission Ridge. This is good. So when I get super old, I'll just go in here and try to remember all the different gun shops I've been to. Where the hell is Mission Ridge, Texas? It doesn't even tell me the city. How am I supposed to remember where Mission Ridge is? I think that's the one by Edge, and it definitely has them. Bracken is outdoors, and it doesn't. The Hub, that did have them. And then for the Hub, I had to go inside and go around the corner and in back to be able to see them. Copper Star is the one I just did right now. Oh, that's the man right there. Thank you. She did it right. It's pretty good. Even in this time of stress like this, even in an emergency, she's doing her job right. They hire some pretty good people at the post office. Sometimes. All right, L Border Tactical. Did they have those? Yes, they did. That was a weird place. They had like two little, it looked exactly like the booths I went into to get my hearing tested in the Army. Except that was their rifle range. That was their shooting ranges in California. It was like these two little weird booths. Somehow that's a shooting range. But they did have rentals. Sprague's, they do. And that, again, I have to walk in the place, across the place, and into that little extra room to get into there to figure out that they had rentals. Calibers, yes. Pima County Shooting Range? No. I know that one because I volunteered there for many years. Clark County Shooting Facility? No. Big Shot? What the hell is Big Shot? Indoor range in Nevada. They only had rentals. Only rental. Oh, no, actually, this is both. See, that's crazy. And then they have Guns and Ammo Garage in there twice. I got to figure out what's going on with that. Discount Firearms in Nevada. So that one did. They were jerks. I think they don't like that store. Sportsman's Elite, Texas. remember the sign, but I don't remember where the hell it is. Shooters Depot, Georgia. Oh, that's Shooters Depot and Range, Georgia. Oh, I know where that is. That's right by north of Chickamauga. And they definitely had rentals. Only a few though. Carter, is that the one right there I bought that sword at? I think that's the one I bought a sword at. And if they had rentals, they had to be way down by the end of the counter. I don't remember. That was 2012. That's a long time to remember. Battlefield Vegas is only rentals. Front site. That's odd. See, I don't know what to call front site. You can definitely rent guns there, but you can't go there to rent guns. Does that make sense? Like if you go there for a class and something happens, like you can get a gun from them, but you just can't go out there and be like, I want to rent a gun. So I'm going to say no. American Shooters definitely has rentals, and Shooters World is the other one I did today, and they also have rentals. So now I'm going to take all of those that I checked, go back to the top, go to bulk actions and edit. I have to apply the edit, then go down here to the category called rental range, and then update all of those. Boom. So all 25, so 25 of the 39 got updated. And now when we go to shooting ranges and rental ranges, instead of having one, it'll have 25 of them here. So it's a bunch of posts that I've arranged to filter to display on this page. And I create the page and I stick it under this other page, and then I go to the menu and I put it there so that it's easily found and looks like it lives there. So as far as the order and stuff, there's like 7 different ways you could do it. There's 6 different ways people would like it done. So I just do it a way. I don't even know how it is. Maybe, probably most recently posted, probably. And then whatever, the display is fairly shitty, but I have too many websites to worry about my displays. You can always fancy it up. Fancying it up is easy. It takes like an hour or 2. I just don't ever bother with it since most people aren't going to see it anyway. At least not at this stage. So let's see. So that was adding rental ranges and then editing all the posts to make them display out here. Next thing I could do is go into the back end again, go over to media, because I just uploaded some cartoons that I've been drawing. So we got Shooters World, we got Battlefield Vegas. I think I did Moss Pawn. I'm saying if I have them all. So that's easiest. If I go to shooting ranges, maybe. Oh, see, so Cody, I could change that one. Oh, I should do Dragon Mans. That'll be an awesome cartoon. So there's Copper Stars already done. Battlefield Vegas is already done. Shooters World is already done. So those are all the ones that are going to be under ranges, I guess. Copper Star. So if this is rental ranges, why isn't Copper Star? Oh no, this is just shooting ranges, but still, why isn't Copper Star in here? Or is it and I didn't see it? I did. Oh, there it is. Duh. I did see it. Did not see it. So then we got, oh, actually, I think the Glock store is a shooting range. So now I have to go, I don't know how to find it. So the fastest way is probably, well, first let's go to Cody. What was I going to do? Well, fiddle with the picture. Just take care of this real quick. Replace that image with that image. Now I got more consistent imagery on the website. Go back and I was going to the Glock store, so I'll go underneath the Glock. Oh, we'll just type in Glock. Let the search find it for me. Come to the ammo garage. Come on. What did I type in there? It'll be under California gun shop. California gun shop. And then, oh, I don't even have it in here. No, that's not in here. So that would have been the Glock store. Right. So I got to add the Glock store. Miller's in here. Or Murphy's. No. What's the pickups? Jeez. So it does not look like it unless it's any older, which it could be because it would be one of the first ones I posted. No, it's not. And look, Shooter's World doesn't have a picture. What's up with that? Oh, it does. Okay. All right, so that's a lot of mumbling and poking around. Let's see if anybody's still here. Got 9 people watching. So again, curious if the people that are watching are interested in working and interested in figuring out how to do stuff online. This kind of two-way media workshop type stuff. Can't get, go by the number of people that show up live when you title the thing, whatever we titled it today. Let's learn to create two-way content. 9 people show up. Or is that something that everybody's interested in, or are you showing up to see train wreck? Because I'm definitely down for chatting about nerd stuff during the time when people have had time to work online, but I'm also not, I got other things I could be doing. So I'm kind of making time here to give people something to do, to either learn some skill sets or to, have something to do to have a conversation around. But I'm certainly not interested in just chatting for the heck of it. So with that, I don't know if Matt's still going. Let's go find out if Matt's still going. I'll hang here for a little bit and see if people start to chat a little bit more. Subscriptions, I guess. Go down here and click on this. Did Matt already end? He probably did. The show's pretty weak. Is that this one? No. This one says it was 23 hours ago. Yeah. We took it down. He's embarrassed of it. Come to see what it's all about. Yeah, I'm just trying to, I don't have like a agenda or a syllabus or nothing. I'm just kind of digging in and working. But like I say, I'm sure it's not super exciting. If there's anybody that's got any questions or anything, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I'm just kind of, really what I'm doing is I got a build sheet over here. I don't know if it's over, is it at here? I've got this build sheet that I work to, and I've got stuff I'd like to do on Mondays and on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays, right? Different things, and then I build to them. So I usually do stuff in batches. So, here's all my different, like these. How would you do this? Like this, and with the control, yeah. These would be all the different SHOT Show videos that I've got scheduled. So they go up on, like, for the most part, Monday and Thursday. And then these are the mail call Mondays that are coming up. Oh, what did I mute for? Dang it! How long ago did I mute? 3:15. No sound. Dang. Yeah, I said a lot of good stuff. It was mostly secrets, mostly valuable recipes for wealth, attaining wealth, and keeping it. I also gave out the cure for viruses during that time that I was muted. Sorry about that. I don't feel like repeating it though. Pretty busy. So I was just talking about my websites and how awesome they are, and like say cures for diseases or whatever. But let's see. Like I was saying, it is. We got 10 people in here. I wanted to update these sites for a bit. I can go for 2 hours. I could go for another hour easy. I offered the links to my Patreons in case people are out there being bored. Give them a spot to have a conversation. But I'm really not interested in just talking to the world or whatever. So if you guys got something to talk about, we can chat about it. If people jump in, that'll keep it going. Otherwise, I'll default to whoever comes around and corks me or whatever. Let's see. Did I get the part out about the schedule, or was that all silent also? Part where I was talking about how I'm building to the schedule over here. I don't know when the sound cut out. You got the cure for a loss of job? Yeah. Keep working. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket and don't depend on some infrastructure. Move to the next thing. Right now, there's no lack of jobs from what I understand. I mean, I just walked into my 99-cent only store yesterday, and they had signs on the door. Actually, I was thinking, oh, like they're going to be closed, or they're telling us, super rations or something. I thought the worst. I got up to the door and it was just pieces of paper, not 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, saying help wanted. Help wanted immediately. Basically, is what it said. And they had like 5 of them up there because they wanted people to know for sure that they needed help. And I think it also lets people know when you got help wanted signs on the door that like, hey, give us a break. Like we need people. So if you're going to complain, grab a broom, or if you're going to complain, start loading, stocking shelves. So I think there's definitely the what do you call it? The cure to having a loss of a job right now is go to Walmart and get paid. I definitely know some people that are working at stores and they need help. They definitely need help. In fact, I'm debating if I should be doing stuff like this or going to work at a Walmart. But I did get 2 orders today, and that's probably more than I would make at a Walmart today. No, it isn't. Would I make $60 working at a Walmart? How much do you make now? $17 an hour? No, you don't make that. But how much do you make working at a Walmart? You think? What's minimum? $12 an hour? I would make that in 5 hours working at a Walmart, I guess, right? You ain't gonna live with me, dude. But you could live in Arizona. I'm sure we could find you a trailer or a back room somewhere. You wouldn't want to live with me though. Imagine the worst like broken down camper you've ever seen, and I'm living in a worse place than that. All right, try to see what some of these chats are all about. Looks like people are saying stuff. So we got. I just gave you the cure for loss of a job. Go get a better job. Go get a different job. Go do some volunteer work. Get a room. I don't know who that's all going out to. Probably Kingpin. I'm going to build my first AR. All right. Sounds good. Probably not the best time to buy all the parts to it right now, but hopefully you had a bunch of parts already or you got good friends. It's just a bunch of people saying hello to each other, I think. I'll sleep with Fluffy. No way. I'm sleeping with my dog. Did I miss how to become the next Hugh Hefner? How would you be the next Hugh Hefner? What did Hugh Hefner do that other people didn't do? I think he basically just brought Nudie magazine to the newsstands. It's his main claim to fame, right? He didn't. Did he do more than? I think that the Hustler guy is cooler. What's his name? The guy in the wheelchair, Flint. I think his story is way cooler. Like he's super First Amendment. Like I guess what's his name? Hugh Hefner is First Amendment. But yeah, I don't know how to become a Hugh Hefner except find some angle. Maybe gun bunnies. Gun bunnies ain't gonna work. There's 50% of guns, 51% of guns are being sold to females. Maybe it's time to get the firefighter calendar version of gun bunnies. Get a firearm spider calendar, like that, for the ladies. And then you could be the next Hugh Hefner. Waiting for the baby boom. That'll happen, right? When's the opposite of this? When's 9 months from now? Christmas? Pretty much Christmas, huh? I'm surprised how many people let go of their critters. Maybe I'm just, I know people who are involved with that stuff, so I hear about it or whatever, but I'm surprised how many people would let go of stuff. Again, we'll have probably at some point, we'll start having some chats about after hindsight, some of the 2020 hindsight, like somebody said, and prepping with pets and having pets / prepping, that kind of thing. What if all your pets were like rabbits or something? That worst case scenario, they're all lunches. Oh, I think you're talking about what happened on us. You're talking about the building the AR. It can be confusing, probably like anything the first time. There's certainly some parts to it. That calendar needs to be full of gun channels members. What are we talking about? Oh, you're talking about the calendar that Justin's gonna make. You want a bunch of almost nude gun channels members in a calendar? That's your thing, man. I'm signing that off to whoever wants to take that project. It's not a project I'm necessarily need to be familiar, affiliated with. Hmm. See, ideally, I would go in here and find pictures for all these ones I'm missing pictures of. Did you have to do one of them calendars? Hopefully not. I don't think it's fair when women think of us simply as objects, mean us by putting us in little costumes and parading us around, to judge us with their eyes. Oh, snap. Kingpin's running with this whole idea. It would have been cool to get Gun Channel's bowling shirts. When I was a kid, that was cool as hell. We got a bunch of bowling shirts just because we were running around like skateboarders or whatever, and we were like, oh, we're going to get bowling shirts. Mainly because that was a thing you could get that didn't cost that much. Have I ever done a Gun Channel's calendar? No. What would make it, what do you call it, a Gun Channel's calendar? Like everybody's birthday in there? I know what Matt's birthday is. Never Enough Ammo's birthday is June 14th. Just FYI. I happen to know because it's written on my whiteboard in front of me. No one ever wants to forget Matt's birthday. So I'll go in and look for an image, and more than likely I don't have an image of Miller surplus in here. And I don't. Oh man, I can remember doing all this. This is one of my goals too, was to have scanned the business cards. Because how cool! Does anybody else collect business cards? I have always liked business cards since I was a little kid, and somebody gave me a little thingy to like carry or to hold a bunch of business cards in, and I was like, oh snap, I'm gonna collect business cards in here. And then I just told people I was collecting business cards, and I started getting all kinds of crazy ones made out of plastic or with weird edges. Or anytime somebody saw a weird business card, they would get one and give it to me. Or sometimes people would remember and give me. And so I accumulated quite a few business cards. They were just totally random. They were just all interesting. I had a metal one, and then once I got into doing business and stuff and having clients for sure, I've accumulated business card collections that I had to have or that just happened. So doing the road trips and stuff, I've tried to collect a business card from each shop I go to. And I just really like looking at the business cards. It's kind of a tough thing. I guess most of the time people want the information out there. So it's kind of a tough thing to do a video on because you've got a lot of personal information there. I guess I could go through some of my business cards and pull out the ones that are like somebody's personal business card, right, with their home phone number on it or something. But let's see how the sticker series goes. That sticker series will go till June, till the end of June. They get really bad. There's horrible videos in there. So we'll see if people still even want to tolerate my channel after all that. But maybe it would be neat to look at business cards because some of them are wild, some of them are boring as hell. Some of them are like, there's so many of them that like this one, like Dragon Man's, unfortunately, is that bullshit flag one. It's like a default from Vistaprint. So there's probably like 13 gun shops that have all used that same one. Yeah, I think most people can tell by looking at it which ones are the Vistaprint default ones. This is one of them. Tells you a lot about your business too. And then you got like I say, there's you really get into business cards. Anyhow, so I had a bunch of them scanned, and then in here, I'm looking for Miller surplus. But I doubt it. In here. 8 here, seriously, throw that off. Don't put that in. Here's my thing about birthdays. Number one, I'm a dude, so I could give a flying shit, right? But I'm removing that because you don't need that kind. That's serious info. You don't need that on the internet. Do I delete it? I can't delete it, dude. Sorry, but you don't want that. That's real info. Like, don't tell anybody your birth date. You could say I'm born in June or something, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna have a picture of Miller's. So let me go a little bit further just in case. Now I got a lot of pictures from the tour. So now I'm gonna go over here, go to wherever I hope I have them on this. Let's see. I'm not gonna know where they are in here. I've been to Miller's every single year. And it's in town, so I don't know where I've got Miller's pictures at. Let's see if I type in Miller over here. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Tour 2017. So I can just say screw it and go back in here. Oh, come on. My computer's freezing. All right, back to here. Back to here. What was it, 17? Surplus it says the small Millers. Who cares? This picture will work. And that picture, jam it in there. And now I got a picture for Millers, even though it ain't perfect. Actually, shit. I'll go back, select this file. And let's see. I'll edit it first. And then I will cut this and crop and save as. Let's see, we gotta put it back in here and back in 2017 and back all the way at the bottom under surplus. And then Miller's. And save. And close that and open that. And now we have a picture of Miller's that is just the sign. That's a little more appropriate, even though it's a shitty disgrace to the American flag. So we'll say select. And now that picture is in there. It's like that. Here and shove that other picture in just for good measure since we already uploaded it. And it's a picture of the store. And I can go over to here, and we go down to here, and click that thing, and there. And now when we update it, and back over here, the reason we clicked on it is because there was nothing there for Miller's, and now it'll be that shitty disgrace to the American flag that they used as their sign, and they didn't even do it good. Like their stupid-ass red, the way red's a shitty color, their stupid-ass red blended into the flag, you can't even read it. It just looks like a upside-down flag, basically. Worst sign ever. It's probably what they went into business. Just stopping by for a bit. Bored here in Indy. Right on. Hey, thanks for the feedback. That's what it's all about. You know, these conversations are either one way or they're two way. And I'm more about the actual conversation. So I appreciate that. I don't think I recognize the name. So thanks for jumping in. Yeah, feel free to be part of the conversation. We'll continue to think about that and feel free to run with, I mean, go with it however you want with it. But if you've got other ideas on how to make it, let me know because I've got a color printer now. So sky's the limit. If it's 8.5 by 11 and I can shove it through my printer, we can make it, right? Anyhow, so I've been playing around on the right side of the screen here with Gun Shop Guide, and I just went in and I've just been blabbing while I'm working. So I just went in and added a couple of pictures to Miller Surplus. It's a surplus store here in Tucson. I think what I'm going to do now is start adding a tag. Oh, it's already got a tag of Tucson, so I will shut up because I've already thought of that. Amazing. So now let's see, we'll go to Woodville and Woodville, surplus in Ohio. Oh, I know what this one is. All right, so now I think I might even have a picture of it in here. So we're going to go look at the library that's already uploaded because I just scrolled through here a second ago talking about the business cards, right? And this was, oh no, this was the 2018 tour. This was 2018 tour. 2018, 88899888899. Where the fuck is this one? I don't remember this one. 18, 19, 18, 18, 18. I'm looking for 17. I thought it was in here. This is 17. Huh. There's Copper Star, and I'm looking for Woodville Surplus. That's LA. Now it goes back to 2012. Yes. No, it doesn't. But it goes back way further than that. Actually, that's all still maybe the beginning of 18. Actually, and then is that SHOT Show 18? Maybe. Where the heck? Could have been That's Texas. So that's Texas, 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 Indiana. How the hell did I get from Texas, Illinois, Indiana? Woodville is Ohio, so it would have been. Now it's New Mexico. This is Iowa. Dang it. Now they're all out of order. That's Kansas, Dodge City. Well, that'd be a neat place to go. Does anybody live near Dodge City out there? Anybody that's listening to this now or in the future that lives near Dodge City, I'd be interested in seeing what the status is of the museum up there. There's New Mexico. There's oh 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 oh. What is this? This is Indiana. Woodville Surplus is in Ohio, so it would have been right before this, technically. I'm trying to remember what it looked like. It was sort of a big empty room. It could have looked like one of these, but these are Illinois. It looks, no, this is already going back to Bob, hanging out with Bob. All that for nothing. All that for nothing. It wasn't even in there, so I have to go find it. And let's see, how am I going to figure it out? Woodville was 17, so I'll go back up here. Woodville Surplus right underneath of this one in 17. Boom. See, it looks like a big ass store. Here, let's launch a video of what Woodville Surplus. Oh, shit, I just uploaded the video. Let's not do that. So, how do you tell it to not do that? Shit. Go to media. Cancel. Go to here. Go to here. Snap. What's it trying to do? Did it just cancel, you think? It's going to eat all the bandwidth. This isn't a big website, so you can't just go shove videos up onto websites. That's probably not a good thing. Hopefully, it is not trying to take that whole freaking video up now. But you can kind of see what the place looks like. We're going to grab that sign. We'll put that video up. And we'll see how long that takes. If it takes an hour and a half, then it means it is trying to pull that video, and we're screwed. You're not screwed. I'm screwed. Ever been to Mac's Gun Shop in Northern Indiana? Yeah. It's easier to go in through a folder like this, though, because otherwise it's going to try to upload everything I accidentally click on. Yeah. Oh, I messed up so big time. It's trying to shove probably a fairly big video up onto a tiny little website. Okay, so now I can go into this picture and edit. Edit. I want to let me edit it. Anyway, I could go edit it if I wanted to. I'm not going to bother. Go back over here. The main thing I wanted to do is put it under featured. So now I have it and it goes under featured. And when I update and go back over here and scroll, now I should see Woodville has a sign also. And that's mainly what I was looking at. I wanted them all to have a picture so that they didn't just smash up together. But yeah, I've been to Tim's. I'll show you what it looks like. Go to my tour files, and that would have been the tour of 17. I believe. Indiana Copper Custom. So on that tour, I went up. On that tour, I went up to Illinois. Transmission broke. $3,000 later, I figured, well, I might as well keep going, right? So then I went to Indiana. So I was like, going to Tim's. He lives where this shop is 2 hours outside of Chicago. My transmission broke down, let's just say in Chicago. So, I'm like 3 hours on my new transmission going to Tim's. So I wasn't exactly not, I was super distracted. Let's just put it that way. I was wondering if it was a good idea to keep going east because I probably would have been wiser to go back home, right, or sell the van where it was. So this is looking around his shop. When you come in, it's sort of like, I guess I don't show the beginning of it here. So when you first come in, I'm not gonna say you first come in and then you're in this room. I'll just leave it like that. And then you figure out, oh, okay, I come through here. And then when you come into here, you figure out that it's a bunch of cargo containers. Until then, you didn't really know. You just knew you were in rooms, I should say. And then this is how it's laid out. Now, this was 2018. I forget when, like October or something? Or does it tell me here? September of 2017. 17. So it might be quite a bit different now. I don't think it is. I think I went back there 2 years ago, a year ago, and it just had different stuff. And I think he might have moved a room around or something. Like one of the rooms was a little different, like being used differently. But let's see, pretty good selection of stuff. Tell this thing to shut up there. And then this, pretty much what you'd expect in Indiana, futtery. And then this was it in the front. So up front, it just looks like a big building. It actually doesn't, you can't tell what it is. So you can't tell that it's like a giant metal, I think it's a metal building, right? Like a giant metal building. It just looks all nice in front, but it's also in a really nice area. You wouldn't expect it to be an industrial area. Like all the lawns are cut and stuff, but all the areas, all the stuff around there is industrial. And then it's all this fancy wall made out of metal. Can I just, I wonder, maybe I can just go, oh, I guess I can't. Is it a photo viewer? That's that same picture, dang it. Maybe this one's a little better for looking around. This is sort of that front room, let's say. And then holsters, t-shirts, armor, slings, accessories, stuff like that. I would say it's like, I don't know, what do you call it, like a mini country club. He really wants it to be a country club. You can tell that's what he's going for. I'm sure Tim could definitely run a country club. Or if he had all the money in the world, you know, he'd end up with something like Austin or like Colorado. But he doesn't have a range, and it's in an industrial area. Well, I guess some of those others are in industrial areas. But even more than some of the other shops I've been to that did spend more money to try to be a country club. Have I been to the Rock Island Arsenal Museum in Illinois? Kind of. I went past there, but I didn't go in there. The time I was coming up there last was for the 2018 Gun Rights Policy Conference, and I had time, but just the way that, like the pace of it or whatever, the people that I was staying with, I don't remember the days anymore, but let's say they were leaving on like a Wednesday, and I got into Illinois on a Tuesday, and I can't legally, I don't live in Illinois, so I can't legally just hang out in Illinois with a gun. I have to go somewhere in Illinois and then put my gun there. So, or my guns there. So I had got into Illinois and had to go to where I was going. And because of when they were leaving, I just did, it was time thing. I couldn't fart around. So now, if I wanted to go to something like anything in Illinois, really, I would have to go somewhere and then be gunless, go around nakedless, naked gunless. Yeah, I don't know. Has he ever done a tour? He must have done tours with his stuff. Now, I've been all around. Tim's cool. I've known Tim since like 14, I think. So whenever I went there, they were like, "Oh, hey," and they brought him down. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then he's like, "Hey, I'll show you around," and he showed me all around. So I've seen the other parts of it and stuff, and it's a cool system. I mean, he's definitely got it going. He's got it very cool setup, actually. He must have done videos. What do you think about a Stevens Westfield? The hell is all that? Is that a gun? I have no idea what the hell all that is. Let me go find out. So you have to go like this, and then view on YouTube, and then Stevens this. You know, I can copy it. I don't have to worry about it being wrong. I'm also lazy, but I also don't have to worry about it being wrong. What's Trump saying?
The task to get over here increases. Reporting that the total deaths today crossed 100 for the first time. This morning, their Surgeon General on the Today Show said he wanted Americans to understand that this is going to get really bad. Do you share that prognosis? Of course I do. It's going to be bad. We have a lot of people dying from the flu, as you know. We have a very bad flu season on top of everything else. It's very bad. It looks like it could be over 50,000. And certainly this is going to be bad. And we're trying to make it so that it's much, much less bad. And that's what we're doing. I think we're doing a very good job of it. If you look at other countries, what they've been through, and you look at the kind of numbers and compare them to ours, which is a much larger country than most, the numbers are.
You see, 50,000 people are going to die from the flu? That's a lot of people.
Infected area, and it's a good thing to do. So yeah, it's bad, and it's going to, obviously the numbers are going to increase with time, and they're going to start to decrease. And we're going to be opening our country up for business.
This guy is standing behind him, and this guy's face is bigger than his.
Working with others, but especially for our workers, and the engine for that whole system is we have to have companies, and these companies are loved by our workers because they're paying big salaries and big dollars to our workers, and we're going to get it all going again very soon, hopefully very, very soon. Please.
Sir, I'm just trying to reconcile the two things. You just said one, that the things are going to be very, very bad, and two, that you want to get the country open back up.
Ugh. Has anybody been watching those kind of things? Did you hear that at all? Curious what he has left now. So let me go back over here. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. You mean over at the store? Like what Tim has left because of the run-on stuff? That's a good question. I would. On there. I wouldn't be surprised if Tim had, been able to pay attention, and he's been through more than one shortage and rush, or what is it called, panic buy, right? He's been through those, so he may have been smart enough to stock a bunch of stuff. There's been people that have been saying, have a whole bunch of lowers or whatever for times like this. Times like this, not for like this time, but it's for these times. Like, in other words, these happen often, like waves. So I'm looking for this thing, a Stevens Westfield Mass 22, I guess, model 73. So I probably do know about this one at some level, because I'm sure I own something very similar if I don't own it. I just don't remember that bolt. I don't recognize that bolt. So I don't think I own this one, but I own, if not it, something very similar. So when you ask about it, what are you talking about? What do you think about it? these kind of guns are good for youngins, but then you get bored of them real quick when you're not a youngin anymore. At least for me. I mean, these things, they probably don't cost that much. It says discontinued. That looks old anyway. But they probably don't cost that much. Getting parts from, I would say, could be a pain. Holy moly, you keep yawning here for some reason. It could be a pain, but at the same time, it's not that hard to create parts. So if you're trying to keep it 100% correct, I guess you could come up with this gun to try to be 100% correct with. But most people probably aren't. It's a tool. So most people are just going to be content with if it works or not. So, if a part breaks and you replace it with a piece of spring steel instead of an actual replacement part, it's that kind of gun. Like it probably has like 8 parts or 10 parts or something altogether, or at least the working mechanism. So they're real hard to break, except for if you ruin the barrel or one of those 5 parts or whatever. Otherwise, they're just so big compared to stuff that exists now. So if you're giving it to a kid, it's a rifle, so it's a long arm, right? It's real easy to make sure that they're pointing in a safe direction because you can literally see what direction they're pointing this thing in. They're going to have to shoot it slowly, so it's probably a great introductory rifle for people. Or if you just need to kill like an occasional thing that could be killed with a 22, so whatever kind of small animals you want to kill. But otherwise, it's just a small capacity wooden giant gun that doesn't fold or anything. Awesome. Please start 200 and send me an invoice to PayPal and I'll put it on my PayPal credit card. So you can get the money right away. All right. So now I've got a thing coming. Hopefully enough for all of my, well, not all my Patreons, but all the Patreons that throw in enough money to get stuff sent to them. All right. So you're talking about Tim, yeah. Like I say, I'll bet you he's doing okay. And like so he could be cleaned out. He's not in a poor part of Indiana. It's like a super fancy part of Indiana. Someone give it to me. It's perfect. Nerf shotgun. Is it worth 300? I have no idea. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I don't think so. Unless there's something about it. That seems to me like a $60 gun. Like if that gun came into the gun shop, Bob would give somebody $25 for it and he would sell it for $60. And he'd do that all day and night. People would bring these things in from whatever, like who even knows? There's like a billion stories with these guns. There's a billion of them. So, and a lot of them don't have serial numbers because they're just little kids' guns. So they'll come in $25, have to sit there long enough to make sure it clears the pawn or clears the background check, all the garbage. Basically, if it comes back stolen, anything with a serial number, literally anything with a serial number that you sell to a store, right, is going to get pawned. It's going to get found out if it's stolen. Assuming it's not stolen, it's going out for sale, and if they make 100% on it, so $50, whatever, they'll be happy. And so they'll put it out for 60 in case nobody haggles. And that's what I think. Now, I don't know shit. So it could be a super rare thing that's worth thousands. I mean, there's a couple of those. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, though. But typically, these guns were, sold by the zillions to kids who wanted to be like their dads in the war. And these looked like, this is the AR-15 22 of the day, right? This is like, holy crap, this is almost my dad's gun. in 22. His dad's gun only held 8 rounds, so he never expected it to do anything else. And does it even have a magazine? If it doesn't have a magazine, then it's definitely like a ranch tool type of thing. But anyway, so there's got to be ones that are rare out there occasionally, but I would say it's probably worth more like the 60 range. And then, that's like a regular person and looking at a tool. Now, if you're somebody and this is, I don't know, somebody's gun that you know or heard of or significant in any way at all, it could easily be worth $300 because $300 in the grand scheme of things is not that much. And this gun, is still a decent gun, and if it could easily be worth something if it had any significance to it, for sure. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I would say. Yeah, if he's gonna say that it's just plain value is 300, you'd have to bring something to the table because unless somebody else knows something I don't know, this looks like a typical inexpensive. It's probably more than single shot, right? Is there a magazine on it? I don't see a magazine here, though, is the problem. If it's single shot, I really have trouble figuring out how much it's worth. If it's single shot, it's probably for like, I don't know what, training or, I mean, what it would be for? Literally training a little kid. Because even the ones that were in the plinking galleries had a magazine, they would hold more than one round, right? Now, that being said, talk to somebody like Clover or somebody who knows about wooden guns. I don't know shit about wooden guns other than what I just said there to you. There's a couple that are super neat. I just don't know if this is one of them. I don't think it looks like anything that's one of them. It looks like a standard bolt action, but it does look weird to me. So maybe there's something different about it that I don't know. So in other words, don't go up and tell your friend he's a jackass just based off of what I'm saying. Because I definitely have never heard of the gun before. Let's see, if you go to the Tin Can Bandit, Stevens Model 73. Let's see if this is the same thing. Oh, you know what else you could do? You could go in and type in Blue Book. And then see if it shows up on the Blue Book of Gun Values. See Gun Values, Gun Digest. Gun Values by Gun Digest. And now, so this is all of Stevens Arms. And then I'm going to go to my model. What was the model again? Westfield Mass model. Model 73. How about that? Model. Do I see it on here? Model 73. Am I missing it? So it's a boy's model, maybe? No. Sporting rifle? No. Am I missing something? Model 73? Stevens brand, maybe? No. So, well, I'll try doing this. Control F, and then I'll type in 73. Nothing. Yeah, it's not even in here. That's weird. Try typing in Westfield. So that didn't work. Let's go back and see what's all about this. So the Stevens was a single shot bolt action made between 65 and 80. It's a derivation of the 63 that was before it. The 73 and the 63 were a cast aluminum receiver with a trigger housing. The one thing that made this unique is that it used a hammer. Oh, isn't that amazing? The receivers were grooved for mounting a rifle scope and were not much more than a hollow tube. Takedown goes through the receiver. The stocks were walnut. Are they even going to tell us what the difference is? No. No. Best I can tell, they sold for $22. $21.95 was the oldest gun ad he could find. That was in 1965, though. So, how much was $22 in 1965? $22 in 1965 is equal to $181 in 2020. And if you don't cough on it, maybe even more. The rifles were made in the Westfield, Massachusetts plant in 65, blah, 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 blah. One unique feature, blah, 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 blah. Also called blah, blah, blah. There's this link too if you want. Let's see. Then there was a youth model with a shorter stock. So this was for adults, and it was a single shot 22 with a 14-inch pull, length of pull. I don't know why anybody would want this. It's probably for old people that go out and shoot at like a bullseye over and over and over because they're bored, giving up on shooting fun stuff or something. I don't know. I don't know what this is for. Kid wouldn't want it. Yeah, I would debate the 300 part. Unless, like I say, unless I'm super wrong. Maybe these things are in super big demand. I suspect anybody who is buying it between 65 and 80, though, is my age. But I wouldn't. I mean, you'd have to, I don't know. Maybe if it's in great condition or something, and it's, like having a Chevy Nova or something that's in great condition, like something you wouldn't think of as a collectible car, if it's in mint condition, could be collectible. But otherwise, I don't think it's a $300 gun. I don't think it was ever a $300 gun. Hopefully that wasn't too bad of news. Depends on what kind of work you did on the shotgun too. If all you did was like return a spring to position or like, tighten a screw, then you wouldn't want $300 from the guy anyway. There is 2 games and 2 shows that I'm tempted to say would keep me. Wait, I don't understand. There's 2 games and 2 TV shows that I'm tempted to say would keep me complacent to tyranny. Can I ask y'all if you got any? What are you talking about? Yeah, I would say he probably owes you some money. All right. Well, if everybody's leaving after that, did somebody else go live? That could be. It's 4 o'clock here, and that's pretty much what I was going to do: is go live for a couple hours, offer something that's not, whatever, but not a complete distraction either. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll have a chat about dealing with stress and people that might be panicked. And then same thing on Thursday. Probably have a chat on panicking and reasons why you should not just be calm on Monday and Wednesday. And then that way we'll pull your emotions one way and then the other, and you'll be addicted to it, and you'll have to come back over and over. And then on Friday, we'll throw out the soft sell or the hard sell, depending on how panicking we are after not having many sales over the week. So thanks for joining in. I'd say worth 100, and that's only if you're interested in that type of gun. Yeah, it's tough to say. That's the thing. If it was I don't know, if it brought back memories or something, if it was the gun I used, that I can remember having just great times at the creek, or, at the lake, whatever, like that's totally different than somebody who's never seen that gun before. It just happens to be a gun I've never seen before. If I don't even know what the gun is that I am thinking about that I got in the back of the safe, I think I still have it. I might have given it to somebody actually. But whatever my little gun was like that I started off with when I was a little kid, and it was like the first one that somebody said, "Here, it's yours," and I actually liked it. Because that first gun I got, I didn't like, and it wasn't that gun. It was something like that. That was a single shot 22. It was like, okay, that's my gun, but I never want to shoot it. It's boring. But the first gun that I had that I liked, I used to carry it around all the time, and I don't even remember for the life of me what. I think it's an H&R. I don't remember even model for sure. Let's see. Reblued barrel, new spring in the guide rod, and a few other springs. Replaced the trigger. Cost me $200 and parts. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, that's interesting. So in other words, it cost you $250 worth of parts, and then you were asking $50, and then he gave you that. Well, I would bring that up to somebody who knows more about that gun. But on the surface, it looks like you need to have another conversation potentially, or learn a lesson. Every once in a while, if you don't take one in the nuts and learn a lesson, then you're never friends with anybody. If that guy tried to screw you, then doom on him. But if he didn't know and you didn't know, sometimes there's lessons to be learned, and it ain't always the other guy's fault. So I don't want to make you eat $300, but I've ate $300 more than once in situations like that where I just didn't feel like making it a big deal. Live and learn kind of thing. But you can have fun with it. Yeah. I still play with some of my. I guess they are single shots actually. Those crickets are single shots, aren't they? I still play with those, but they're shorter. You could chop that thing to 26 and see what it looks like if that's your style. Or make it even bigger. Put a can on it, make it the biggest, most expensive 20 single shot 22 ever. I don't know, but definitely bring it up with somebody who knows that more about those wood guns than I do. Make sure it isn't some crazy, only made those for 4 years, and everybody wanted one because of some reason that I don't know. Maybe it looks like the Long Ranger's gun or something. Oh, dang, we're about to hit 2 hours for 2A. I'll go live for another 4 minutes, and then when it's right on 2 hours, I'll hit the button. Yeah, thanks for showing up. Like I say, it's easy enough. I don't really get as much work done as I would have, but I was only going to sit here for 2 hours and do some stuff anyway before it got start cleaning it. It gets a little bit cool and start closing off the windows and stuff. So we've got a couple of more videos. I was just showing you the schedule over here. We got a bunch of videos coming up. I don't even know how many. Is there a way to count? What I count? I guess I could just start clicking on all these cells and then trying to count, but it's a lot. All these are videos coming up in the next few weeks and months. We've got them out till the middle of June. Record them in batches and then set them up, post them up. And let's see. Yeah, well, if it's that kind of thing, then yeah, then figure out what's up. Tell them, but like I say, go make sure that gun ain't worth $500. Maybe you got the deal. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just looked it up and couldn't find an actual value on another site. That doesn't mean anything really. It just means what I don't know. So I don't want to start no shit, especially since I'm not totally sure what the thing is we're even talking about. Another option though too is to grab a real blue book. I don't know what year I have. I don't think I have this year's. I mean, I have one. I have multiple ones. I'm sure I have one that's a couple of years old. But that's something else. There's quite a few guys that jump into the live chats that are at gun shops. you could have them bust open their book, and they're almost every gun shop, in fact, every gun shop is going to have a blue book of gun values, and that's at least a relatively accurate value. All right, I'll go grab mine and see if it's in there. All right. All I got is a 34th edition, so I don't know what year this is. See? This is a 2013, so this is old as shit. Stevens. What? Turn right to it. Stevens. How was it again? Model. Something. Like a model number with a 7 in it. Model 73. At first, it's not in here. That's why it's not going to be in here either, I bet. It's a rifle, correct? Westfield? Does that have anything to do with it? Oh, maybe the Westfield is like a store brand or something? There's a Stephen Springfield. But there's no 73. There's a 71. Oh, didn't that one article say, though, that it was the same as a Model 60 deviation of the Model 63? Let's see if there's a Model 63. Of course, there's no Model 63 in here either. What's up with that? Oh, the rifle's bolt action. Let's find it in here now. Nope. Nope. Weird. It's not in here. Stevens J, right? Oh, I'm looking for. It's a Savage in Stevens, so maybe I'll have to look under Savage. I'll bet you it's under Savage. Model 63. 63 single shot. Stevens Savage Model 65. Savage Seasons Model 73. All right, I found it. So, a Savage Stevens Model 73. Similar to the Model 63 with the Monte Carlo stock, but it isn't. And then this was in 2013. Let's see if he's still out there. Is Ron still out there even? Yeah, it's a 22. According to this, There's 100%, there's 98, there's 95, there's 90, there's 80, there's 70, and there's 60% condition. So 60% condition is like not the worst condition a gun can be in. It's still a pretty decent gun. Most people are going to want to buy it. And I'm assuming the gun you got is, what do you call it? Actually, I could probably find it in here. Under this. And then just switch it to from Stevens to Savage. It won't go back. So, fire rifles. Try going back and go to S and then go to Savage. Savage revolving firearms. What the hell? That's weird. Savage, there we go. And then we got the Savage. Oh, they got all kinds of stuff in here, just in all kinds of crazy order. This just was all over the place. Pistols, shotguns, it has to be up in here somewhere, so I'll just try doing that find again. 73. All right, so do they have a Steven Savage? Or Savage Stevens, I guess, model? Anyway, I don't know if he's still out here or not, but according to my book, which I can't find it in here to verify it, the Model 73 in 60% condition is worth $45. Most guns, like people think when they hand it to you at the gun shop, this is a 90% condition, this is an 80, this is 99% condition. And of course, it's never 99% condition. To be in 100% condition, you would not only have to be in the box, but like never touched, like never molested, never dropped, never looked at weird. Like it's 100% perfect in the box. That's 100%. 98 is like when you got it in a box and it's pretty nice, but it's still, you can tell that it's existed for so many years. So when they start getting into the 90%, most people think they got guns in 90%, but most people are never going to pay you what the 90% is on here unless it's in really good condition. So I just don't want to get anybody's hopes up or anything. But I don't even know if he's out there, if I should even keep going with this. I don't really think he's even out there. I don't want to just say a bunch of prices and get in trouble or get everybody's hopes up about something. Anyway, it is in there. If he finds a copy of the blue book, it's on page 1629. I did find it for you. But yeah, with that, I guess we'll conclude tonight's show without talking about the actual price that I found on page 1629 of that Model 73. Nobody's out there that wants to hear about it. I'm watching. It's not like I'm not paying attention. There's nobody out here that wants to know about it. All right. So with that, we'll talk to y'all later.